been, and I just decided I would do a little bit of a guide slash review on the Churchill VII because I'm grinding down the line. I'm already set up to get the Black Prince, which nice. But also, I've only played 21 games in it. I've already aced it several times, and it's a really good tank. But I don't see a whole lot of them in battle, so hopefully I can demonstrate how good this tank can be. And of course, if you are struggling to pen this tank, I'll show you at the end of the video how you can pen this thing effectively without even having to switch to premium shells, and probably aggravate the people who do drive the tank. So the first game here is on Dead Rail. It's going to be a loss, unfortunately, but still an ace nonetheless, and I did have a lot of fun playing it. So we're going to be pushing down the mid because, of course, this tank only goes 20 kilometers an hour, which is incredibly slow. This is probably the most efficient way we can get into the battle. I was hoping that we would have run into the 2 KV2s, and here's the gun handling. The gun is phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic gun. Has great DPM, great penetration. The one big thing that's terrible about this tank is the lack of gun depression is excruciating sometimes. So he's aiming his best, and unfortunately he does not penetrate his shot. I'm pretty sure I know where he was trying to aim, and we'll get to that later if you see to the end. But I'm just going to try and push on this KV2. Probably not the smartest idea ever because obviously that SU 100Y is going to be on the left side. And I want to run this side of the building for some strange reason. Which wouldn't have made a difference actually. So driving forwards to this KV2, hoping that the SU would be perhaps in the front corner, but of course he's behind me, of course. It makes total sense for him to be there. Not supporting his team at all. Okay, unfortunately I bounced my kill shot on the STRV, and my team is going down a bit. I'm trying to get their mediums to stop aggressing the Skoda and the STRV on our team, but unfortunately they're gonna keep pushing onto them and they're gonna die. But for now we can just get a free farm fest back here. I'm safe from that SU 100Y for the time being. And I'm just taking shots whenever I can. Unfortunate bounce there. So obviously I don't want to push up too aggressive because I'm going to be caught out in the open with a Churchill with my flanks over to the STOV to the left, which I don't want. So he does poke out, and will I get the kill? Oh no. Alright. So just me and our KV2 now. I unfortunately bounced the Skoda. That was a terrible bounce. So angling as best as I can to all the enemies that I have. And I am pulling off the bounces, but it is a 1v5 for the moment. 1v4, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, this is a potential game. Just depends on if the bounces, if I can pull off the bounces. So more coming in here. I get another shot into that SU. I wish I would have been able to kill a Skoda already, but you know, it is what it is. That SU-100Y should have no shot on me, but somehow he splashes in between the train cars and is able to do 270 damage, allowing the SU to kill me. Also, this SU hit my rear drive wheel. That's one of the few weak spots when you side scrape this tank. So sad loss, but still 3,000 damage, an ace, so I was happy with that. Second game is on Canal, and so far as you can see, the gun is probably the best thing about the tank, and then second to the armor, of course. And there's a Churchill Mark 6, a steal. If you had the opportunity to buy that tank, go for it. It's just the it's a much better version of the Churchill 7 is what I'm trying to say. So for this game, they have a lot of mediums. I'm going to push across to the left here. My side armor on the turret and side armor on the hull is pretty nice, so I'm not too super concerned. If I get flanked, I'll spot them and then I can turn to address them before they can shoot at my side armor. And I don't put on the adrenaline because one extra shot's not going to do me a whole lot, and I'm probably going to have to roll the heavies over here, which by heavies I mean possibly a KV2 and a T29. So I'm able to pull off a bounce from the T29. Don't ever expect bounces from tier 7s. For the most part, they're just going to butter through your armor. Trying to get a shot onto this guy. Our ARL's pushing left, which I'm very happy about to have that support. The Jagdpanzer spotted, so I take a shot through here. Unfortunately, it does not hit, but there we go. Get a nice bounce from him. And the T29 is looking away, so I'm going to try to support my ARL. Angling up to that T29 as best as I can here. But it does not matter, he just pens me. That's a sad bounce there, trying to pull over to this guy. I track him. I get smacked by that Jagdpanzer to my left. And we managed to, with the help of our ARL, clear out that T29. We know the KV2's over to the left still, and the Jagdpanzer's right here. So this tank is also great at doing this, poking up frontwards, because the drive wheels are actually not connected to the hull. So you can poke out those drive wheels and it kind of obscures your hull and also makes the effective thickness a lot greater. Now we know this is a good sniper tank, so we're going to push out here to the Skoda. The KV2 decided that he wanted to push off the other direction, and there he is. Even if he got that shot off, he likely wouldn't have ended. And sad bounce. Not a great shot, honestly. So we're going to turn around since the KV2's addressed for our Type 62 and ARL. Our ARL shouldn't have gone out like that, but he did. Okay, so getting a shot under this guy, I'm trying to drive up before he can... Okay, apparently I'm going back in for another shell. And at least we are lined up for the Skoda. My armor stands nothing against the 250 millimeters of pen on that type. So I had to drive forward, get that shot. I should have turned before I backed up here, so another mistake. I was playing like an absolute idiot today. Or yesterday actually, the day when I played these games. But I was just having fun, you know. It's tier 6, you don't have to try really hard to do well. And just this Ox is just letting me farm. I don't know what he was thinking. And also I was really tunnel vision, so the Type 62 was able to come right up behind me because I wasn't looking at my minimap. So shame on me. Terrible plays all around, but still 1,200 damage just about so far. And we're just going to speed this up, so I get a side armor bounce from the Type 62 is able to sneak up on me there. And what I'm doing is just trying to keep myself hidden behind this wall here. He spotted me, so maybe I thought he was to the left. So I decided, okay, since I don't know where he is exactly, I'm gonna go flush up against these, but he gets spotted and taken out by other Type 62. So it was a good one anyway. See, in that game we didn't block a whole lot of damage, so not every game your armor is going to be working. And also we went up against tier 7, so your armor is not infallible by any means, and you'll see that later on. I picked the SP1C for this test because it has the AP penetration of the average premium shells of a tier 5 tank, and the heat shells are about the average penetration of a tier 6 premium shell. So it's rather perfect. And also the HE is just around average penetration for tier 5 and 6. Which is good. So as you can see, AP from the front is what most tier 5s would see or is standard on, you know, a medium or light tank tier 7. The engine deck is weak, and so is the roof. Also the lower plate, if you don't angle it, can be penned easy. As soon as you angle it harshly, that's where you want to be. About right there is about good. Same angle with the turret too, is nice angle. Then suddenly the lower plate isn't penetrable, but always the roof is going to be a massive weak spot, and you can't do anything about that. If someone knows, they're going to pin you every time. Also, if there's a Churchill side scraping against you, you can just pen through this spot right there. And also that one on the front, although you likely won't be able to see it if they're side scraping. Now if we go around to the rear of the Churchill, you'll see with HEs you cannot penetrate the rear armor, which is just because you just don't have enough penetration, and that's typical for most tanks. It's pretty HE proof. But if we shoot at the engine deck, yeah, you can mess and hit the turret ring instead, which is a pen for a lot of tanks, but not the SP1C. There's the engine deck hits, so don't face hug because you're giving people the opportunity to look down, right? So the tracks actually go right over the hull with this tank, so if you shoot directly under the top set of tracks, you can overmatch the engine deck. It won't overmatch in the same manner that you can overmatch the engine deck. So there you go, that's general how to pen a Churchill. This part's just for you who play the 10.5 centimeter of a VK and have struggled up against the Churchill before. Just show you quite a few places you can pen actually the Churchill Mark 6 and Churchill Mark 7 with AP. You don't even need to switch to heat. In fact, it's probably worse that you switch to heat because your shell normalization is much better in AP. So as you can see, the entire roof is penetrable. It says the engine deck. As soon as you switch to heat, the engine deck is impenetrable, but you can still pen the roof slightly. So there you go. As you can see, it's very easy to do. The sides are totally red with AP, except for they aren't. With heat, you can pen that just fine, but if you hit this spot here, you can actually shoot it from any angle, not just flat. If it side scrapes against you, shoot that spot with AP and you'll pen it. It's quite funny. And the rear, you can pen with whatever you want, HE as well. Just looking out for this little bit of spaced armor at the top here. That's actually a trick that gets a lot of people when they try to shoot HE at the rear of a Churchill. So you can just bop it, and that's not a problem at all. You can get away with that quite often because Churchills are slow. So of course, AP the engine deck or roof. That's the easiest thing you can do against the Churchill. There's no point in trying to flank the Churchill at that point, honestly. Unless you really don't have time. So of course, you can do it from long range, unless you miss because of your appalling gun handling, of course. But in this case, honestly, it just would have been better to shoot high explosive anyway, because you can shoot it at the turret face, and the engine deck is so weak, it'll take about 160 damage average if you splash right on the turret face. So, nice. There you go. That's how you can pen a Churchill 7 or Churchill 6 with a 10.5 centimeter without struggling too much.